So we will look into that. Let me give Tananarive a uh, make co-host.
And it's a great lesson for Jason to learn along with you because it's the perfect time for him to have enough time to be able to utilize it.
Absolutely. I've mentioned to him that if I had done this when I started my career, I'd never have to work again. I'd be able to, in fact, I'd be able to fund my own movie. Um, so, better late than never.
Yep.
So, Tanana, are you there,
Einstein was pretty
sweetheart?
smart.
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So let me make one change here in terms of what I'm
I need
looking
to
at.
share my computer sound. Yeah, I'm going to discontinue your sharing, share my
Mhm.
audio, and grab sound
Let's see.
bank.
What are, oh, there it is. And I need to go there. And uh, we are ready to go.
Almost. Just give me
Hmm.
1 second. There we are. Audio. Okay, gallery. Oops. Okay, now I'm ready and I will start recording as well.
Okay,
Here we are. Are we ready to start?
we are.
You have your run a show up?
I said I'm ready.
Oh, in that case, Rosebud. Welcome to the Life Writing Podcast, where married authors and screenwriters Stephen Barnes.
And Tananarive do talk about writing during stressful times, breaking into Hollywood, and balancing life.
Every episode. Oh, wait a minute. My recorder is in the waiting room. Can you, I have to admit it. Let's start over. Sorry about that. It wasn't recording
Ah,
on my end. I use my recording. Okay.
physician, heal
Rosebud,
thyself.
here we go. And let me cut off my notifications so we don't keep getting beeps in the middle of this thing. Okay. Rosebud, welcome to the Life Writing Podcast, where married authors and screenwriters Stephen Barnes.
And Tananarive do talk about writing during stressful times, breaking into Hollywood, and balancing life.
Every episode, we'll share more tips on how to build a better life while you create your dream projects.
Even if it's only at the rate of one sentence a day. Life writing is the application of the tools of writing, of life to writing, and the tools of life, writing to life.
You want to Rosebud that? Do it one
Sure.
last time.
Okay.
Just the last sentence.
Even if it's only at the rate of one sentence a day. Life writing is the application of the tools of writing to life, and the tools of life to your writing.
Heyo! Welcome, everybody. Happy summer, I guess, because
Oh,
it's
this
like
spring,
90 degrees in Southern California. I mean, not to complain for those of you who are dealing with snow, but I am going to complain just a little bit because damn.
you wanted snow, so you got snow.
I,
We
I
only
mean,
really got to see snow when we were back in Virginia.
yeah, we got to see a little
We
snow.
actually got to see a fair amount of snow. We were in Virginia. Actually, we were worried about that we wouldn't be able to fly out.
Yeah, we
So
flew into the big snowstorm that everybody was scared of. And
that's right. It's like,
yeah,
how are we going to get out of here?
that was the winter we got. Well, hey, honey, do you want to start a little bit by talking about what's going on?
Absolutely.
Let the congregation say amen.
Amen.
And I am here to announce that the boycott of Target is over. Psych, no, it isn't. I don't get to say that. That's not my job to announce that. No individual gets to announce that. The boycott is still happening. Uh, anyway, I am very excited because I've been away for a couple weeks, so you don't mind if I jump in here.
Go right ahead.
I've had a cover reveal for my upcoming novel, which is called Maisie Wood. The working title was Bear Creek Lodge, so it's still a little weird for me calling it Maisie Wood. In my head, it's Maisie Town so I'm still sort of mixing that up. But it had a launch in People magazine, which is crazy to me. I've never had a launch in people, and certainly not months and months out from the publication of the book. So there was a picture of the cover, which is gorgeous, and it's also going to have pages that are I forget what the publishing term is for this because I just focus on the creation part, but the pages are colored. So I got to pick the color of the like when you look at the book from the side and you see the pages, they have that tint. I think it's like a purplish tint. And the cover is gorgeous. It's kind of stylized with the film reel spray edges. Thank you, Avalon. See, Avalon knows what is spray edges. It's a stylized cover with like sort of a film reel winding as if it's a path up into like a mountain cabin, and in the smoke from the cabin, you can see a creature. Hey, it captures the book pretty well. It captures the book pretty well. It is available for pre-order, no pressure, but pre-order helps a lot in terms of the publisher knowing that readers are interested, readers can't wait, and how many copies they're going to print of said novel. So if you're in a position to pre-order, it's Maisie Wood. Please do. I would love to hear if you do pre-order, be sure to let me know, that you pre-ordered it you can just email me at tanacoach@gmail.com and say, hey, I pre-ordered Maisie Wood, and I'll give you a high five through email. But that is the big thing. And I'm also working on an outline for my next book. I gave Steve like a 10-page version of it. I'm going to trim it down to 3 pages to, as he put it so politely, get to the point. And he's absolutely right. I did a lot of throat clearing and did not get to the point quickly enough. And because I'm
Yeah,
actually
she got to the
hoping,
end of the first act by about page 7.
okay,
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm just, honestly, I don't get that many ideas. So when I do get an idea, I'm just excited that I can see it through almost to the end. I don't see everything, but I know exactly pretty much how I want it to end. I know what the big twists and the big reveals are. I know what the red herrings are because it's a combination crime thriller and supernatural. So I want both stories, both the supernatural story and the crime thriller story, to be sturdy stories so that the reader never knows exactly what's coming next. But other than that, Maisie Wood is coming out September 22nd. I guess I forgot to mention that date. See what I mean? It's pretty far away. And to me, September 22nd, you might as well say 2030 because it's just so hard to imagine September. It's very hard to imagine September. I'm still trying to
Let's
wrap
keep
my
it
mind
that way as
around
long as
March.
possible. I do not want to zip through this year.
No, and I'm a little disappointed it's already March, not just because it's already getting so hot, but because, like Steve said, we ain't in no hurry. Like, what's the hurry? There's no hurry to get through 2026. How about you, darling?
Okay, so um, I was, boy, so much going on, and it's just a matter of staying balanced in it. Um, Health wise, saw my orthopedist, and he has basically released me. He says I'm a walking miracle in that sense. That's always nice to hear. Uh, but taking that seriously is a little dangerous in that I have to continue the behaviors that healed me. If I let myself be motivated primarily by the fear, the pain, then I will stop doing the things I need to do. Okay, is this? Can you guys hear me? Okay,
Yes.
great. Yeah, so I have to find myself connected with the things I have to do by love, and that is just a little harder. It's easier to motivate yourself with pain when things are going wrong. Uh, Mastery is the ability to tolerate boredom, doing the same thing and the same small set of things continuously over time. Now, I've had a problem with that in terms of my workout plans. I'm always all over the place. Um, but I found something that really works. So I have to get variations within that theme. So that's been a challenge for me. But having found that, it's just great, and I feel like the basics are so strong that I can just work on skills at this point, and the basics will sustain me. Now, that's physically. Emotionally, we are waiting to hear back about the keeper in terms of that wonderful meeting that we had, and I've never been in this territory before, so I don't know exactly how long things should take, exactly what things mean, exactly what the sequence of events will be. No matter how positive the thing is, I just don't know. So my guess is a couple different things. One, that I have to trust my allies, the company we're working with, our agents, our managers, to take care of business with this other company and just to smooth the way while we focus on the fun of it, the joy of it. The other thing is the magic formula. What the magic formula suggests is that when you want something, you have to focus on being the person who could do the thing, not on the thing itself. To focus on the part of it that you can do. And that's difficult because we want this so much. It represents so much to us. But I remember that if I want it, if I chase after it, I actually lose not integrity, but gravity in a way. I lose emotional mass, and I'm not as attractive as the person who doesn't need it, would like it, it would be fun. But I've got these other things going on too. So what I have to do is to focus on being that guy. So I finished um, the current draft or the current version of the book with Larry, turning that back over to him. I'm working back on my solo novel. And then we are meeting with producers next week. We've got that set up. And we're
Yeah, I
handling.
wanted to add if I could jump in. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
we're waiting for feedback, but we're not just waiting. We're being proactive. We set a meeting with our executive, who's the one who really shepherded this whole thing to get the short done. And we're taking steps. We're not just waiting.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's what I don't know if you heard me, but I was saying that the magic formula is about taking care of what you've got to do, the things that you can control. We cannot control how other people are going to respond. What we can control is, to a certain degree, the quality of the work that we produce and how strong we are, because we're going to be sitting there asking people to hand us seven figures in order to make this. They have to be confident that we can do that, that their money is well invested. So we can work on ourselves, we can work on our partnership, we can work on our work. And um, our ability to resist this stress and waiting, is that really separate from the resilience that you'd need in the process of production itself when things go wrong? It's like, can you keep your calm? So, in one sense, being calm while we're waiting is developing the very characteristics that we need to be calm on set and still, engage, still get things taken care of. So
I
it's
like that.
it's a fascinating time.
I like that. I'm sorry. I guess I was supposed to be listening.
I guess you
So,
were.
whoa, 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 whoa. It's not that funny. This audience is rude, honey.
So, was there anything that you wanted to start out? You haven't been here for a couple of weeks. I wanted to give you an opportunity
Well,
to.
it dawned on me that as much as I talk about this book in just life, I didn't actually say what Maisie Wood is about. For those of you who don't know, it's a hybrid contemporary historical horror. The historical sections are set in old Hollywood, and I had equal amounts of fun working on both parts of the book. The contemporary section is survival horror, basically the plot of a Tubi movie. A family goes for a weekend snow trip at their grandmother's cabin in the woods, and there's a creature. I mean, boom, I'm there with popcorn. That's the contemporary story. But the historical story is basically the origins of the creature tied to a young girl from Gracetown, Florida. Yes, this novel also begins in Gracetown. It begins in history. But rather than taking the reader from basically desperation to worse desperation to worse desperation, which is what the reformatory did. This starts in joy, and joy gets turned to tragedy. And that's all I'm going to say about it. We meet Maisel Washington when she's 7 years old, and she makes a wish at the wishing pool. And if you read my short story, The Wishing Pool, you know that those wishes don't always turn out the way you want them to. And that's an understatement in Maisie Wood. So I got to be on the set of Gone with the Wind and scenes with Clark Gable and Hattie McDaniel. I got to go to a fancy Hollywood party with Lena Horne. All these things I got to do as the writer, imagining these scenes, putting words in these actors' mouths based on having read their biographies and read about them. And, the only thing that makes me super nervous, and I mean literally, Steve, I have panic attacks about this. There are a few things. One of my contemporary characters is a 13-year-old with ADHD, and her parents have decided to stop medicating her. And I don't want it to seem like I'm making some big statement about that, but some people are going to take it as a big statement, and that does worry me a little bit. And secondly, people who are like real cinephiles, I expect are going to be, well, actually, me. Well, actually, Clark Gable wouldn't have. Well, actually, Lena Horne never would have, that kind of thing. And you start to imagine people tearing you apart. That's just a natural part of putting yourself out there. When you publish, you imagine that people in their 1 and 2 star reviews are going to say, yeah, this book was fine, but oh my God, that Clark Gable scene was total BS because he would never or she would never, whatever. You can't predict, like Steve said, you can't control those things. All I can do is control the heart and research and sincerity I wrote into this book and hope it won't be misunderstood.
You know, let's see. Let me put myself up there too, because what you're seeing, hopefully, you guys, is the way we use the exact same principles that we're teaching you. That um, I've been very happy with the way we celebrate each other, the way we connect with each other, the morning ritual that I do as an individual, and the blessing dance that we do as a couple, and our meetings that we do with our son are all part of the same thing. The idea that before the world tells you who you are, like by opening, this bill's overdue, you didn't do this, you need to do this for me, your cat's scratching at the door. Before you take care of other people, you need to center yourself. And we talk about that because if you don't do that, the world will be glad to tell you who you are. So you could hear Tananarive talking about her insecurity. If I write this about Clark Gable, there are going to be people who don't like it. They will mistake their opinions for facts. A fact would be on that particular day, Clark Gable was actually fishing in Alaska. Take a look at the
That's
damn
exactly the
autobiography.
kind of thing I'm
You know,
expecting to hear.
that's a fact. He wouldn't have said or done X or Y is an opinion. He did
Right.
X or Y differently at this particular time is a fact. And readers get deeply invested in their opinions about things. It's the, could Mighty Mouse beat up Superman conversation from third grade? There's no way to actually answer that question, but the process is kind of fun until your livelihood is based on a lot of people's subjective evaluations of your judgments. Since all you can do is the best you can do, and because we care about how people react to what we're doing, it's like, how do you walk that path? How do you speak your truth when you know for a fact that people are going to crap on you? People are
And
going
when
to say, no. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm not exaggerating when I say panic attacks. Like when I turned in the edit for this novel, or was working on the copy edits, I vacillated between like, oh my God, people are going to hate this book. And like to the point where I'm feeling restless at night, feeling like, oh, they're going to hate it. It's not, if they read the reformatory, they're going to think it's this or they're going to think it's that. All the way to the next day, like, oh my God, this is brilliant. I cannot wait. And it goes back and forth. Hopefully, the truth is somewhere in the middle, more toward the brilliant side. But those panic attacks are real. And then you wake up in the morning, you're like, what were you so upset about last night? I think it's gonna be fine.
So let me ask you a question. Let's
Yeah.
workshop this a little bit. Um, how, what do you do to shift yourself, to get out of your panic attack?
This is going to sound like a cliche, but it is absolutely true. I do this to shift myself out of every emotional swing that is not working in my favor, a negative emotional swing, and that is focus on the breathing. Yes, I said it. Focus on the breathing because if I do my inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale it for 8, it kind of tricks my body into thinking I'm going to sleep. I use it to go to sleep. If I have trouble going to sleep at night for any reason, I have learned to no, don't listen to an audiobook because then you're going to get caught up in that. No, definitely don't listen to a podcast or anything that's going to engage you. Just accept the silence and breathe. And sometimes it takes longer than other times, but I honestly can't think of a time, even in our worst times when Steve was going through his health thing, I had to learn how to rely on that breathing. And Linda Addison, I have to shout out Linda Addison because she had OG COVID back in the day and she was a guest on our podcast. And there was no vaccine, no treatment. She couldn't be around people. She was alone in a house, unable to move out of her chair. Talk about the most frightening moment in your health life. All she could do, she said, was focus on her breathing. And I think of that so often because it's the kind of practice based on her testimony, because for all she knew, she could be dying. COVID wants to kill you. You can feel it. If you can use breathing to get through that, like literally, I think I might be dying. Two, I can't sleep. Two, I'm stressed out in this meeting at work. That is a practice that will be true blue for you throughout your
Yeah,
life.
absolutely. When I was in the hospital, after my heart stopped, um, I couldn't move, and the only thing I could control was where my mind went in my body, and then I could connect with my breathing. And I kind of remembered, well, who are you? Okay, I'm Steve. What would Steve do in a situation like this? Steve would breathe. Okay, that's what he would tell one of his students. Which, by talking about what I would tell somebody else, it allows me to create a little emotional distance. I'm not trapped by it. It's a little bit like the difference between saying I am angry and saying I am experiencing anger. If you can say I am experiencing fear, I am experiencing anger, I am experiencing hunger, not just I am hungry, I am angry, I am afraid, you create a little bit of distance to look at that thing. And that's what you want. The ant crawling on the elephant just sees a gray surface. If the ant moves back from the elephant, it can resolve into, oh, it's an elephant. It's critical to get that. The breathing helps you do that. Breathing is a primary thing because it is both voluntary and autonomic. People who think that the mind controls the body, just try holding your breath until you pass out. Try it. And you'll find out, no, your brain hallucinates that it's in control. The body's in control. And if you can master your body just for a couple minutes every day, you are starting that process of controlling your emotions. And when you control your body and your emotions, you control your mind. And each of these three contributes to the other two. So I'm happy with Tananarive because I'm seeing her taking better care of herself. Right now, she's in one of her moments, where the world is really seeing her for who she is. And so she's carrying the football for the family in some ways that are really impressive and also make me feel very protective of her. So the thought of, if I were to ask her if she did her breathing today, what would you say?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Because I start my morning with the meditation. It's all about the breathing.
That's right.
So,
And
oh yeah.
I don't know whether or not you follow your heartbeat, but I do know that you feel gratitude. So what were you grateful for today?
Oh my gosh. Grateful for you, for our family, for this collaboration that has continued, even me just being able to show you my outline and you tell me your truth about it, which happened to resonate with my truth about it if I was like, oh, right.
You know who I am. You don't hand me
Yeah,
something unless you want my perspective on it.
right. All right. So, but honey, I don't have any words for it. We were interviewed jointly because we're going to be on a magazine cover. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about it yet, but it's a fairly new publication. I don't think you'll know it, but a lot of the questions centered around us as a couple and as collaborators. And we also had another message from a book coach who was reminding me, you need to get some cards made with your book covers and your name. And on the other side should be Steve and his books. And it's like, oh, right. Like on both counts. Like I don't do it for myself. And if I do it, I should do it for both of us. And the message we are getting is that we should be more deeply intertwined even and leaning on each other more. So I'm very grateful for this partnership, this collaboration. And I can't wait to see where it takes us next, whether it's as co-parents with Nikki. My stepdaughter is about to celebrate her 40th birthday. I hope she won't mind me saying that. And Jason, who's still living with us, is 22 and coming into his own. And every day it's just, I'm pinching myself because I remember the days of uncertainty and don't ever want to forget them. And as you saw in my outline, Steve, I'm squeezing a lot of that stress
Yes.
into the outline for this book. And maybe that's why maybe I leaned too far into it. And
No,
that's what,
I think that what it is you tell story to act you write to access story.
right,
And so when I talk about, you know, creating an outline, that is anathema. That's not the way you think. So you had to write enough to extract from your unconscious mind the story that it wants to tell. Now we can work on it. If
right,
you were just writing a book, you wouldn't have to do this. But we're not just writing a book. You're actually asking somebody to hand over a lot of money in
right.
faith that you can write a book. That means that person has to see where you're coming from. So
And
that's the third part. That's the third part. We're into the mind now. So you don't specifically think about the magic formula, but you have it integrated so that you're always thinking about it. So if I was to
absolutely.
say, who are your most important role models, map or mentor? Who are your most important role models?
There are
Because
a
they
lot of them.
that's
Well, my
right, but who are
baby,
the most important
my
ones?
baby is one of them. In terms of her impact, Octavia Butler, even though our work is very different, in terms of how they're walking in the world now as authors, S.A. Cosby, Stephen Graham Jones. I just read Kin by Tiare Jones, which, man, if she wrote horror, she'd be perfect. But no, I'm kidding. She is such a great stylist. Like every sentence, like there's so many turns of phrase. It's like, oh, that's such a
Okay,
fresh
let's go
way.
deeper. Let's go deeper because that's your what? That's the skill thing. Okay? And it's a massive skill thing. But what one of your role models is your why. Who must you be in the world? Who do you look up to in that sense?
Always it's going to be my parents,
That's right.
my late,
That's right.
he knows before I even ask my late mother,
See, it's
Patricia
so
Stevens
it's
Stew,
so deep she doesn't even see it.
my father, John Dorsey Dew Jr., who's 91, and I'll be seeing him at the end of the month when I do a book research trip to Northern Florida for the new book. And honestly, I was leaving messages for my senators and my congressperson just earlier today because it's just not enough for me. I mean, we can give money to causes and I can be active on social media and I could give my publisher directives about what businesses I don't want to do promotions with, which I have done also. But there are so many bad actors, it's hard to choose, you know?
Okay. So you got your M. Now let's go to
Oh,
A.
you're trying to keep
What
me on magic.
That's right. I'm
Sorry.
going to keep you on track because we're going to when we talk to people, I'm going to want them to tell me, it's first you connect with your breathing and give thanks for life. You connect with your heart and give thanks for love. You connect with the light behind your eyes and you think about magic and how you're going to use that to create your dreams. Then you write down the three most important things you're going to do to achieve to move by 1% by 1 o'clock. What are you going to do first? What are you going to do today? And then the last step is to do one sun salutation, which brings this all into the world. Now, you guys are going to do your own versions of that, and I understand that. If I'm going to help you, I'm able to coach at a distance if you will commit to that. With Tananarive, she has these things deeply integrated. So I know when I say, what is it you had to achieve by 1 o'clock today to move yourself forward? What would you say?
Mostly this, I guess,
Yeah.
And my walk, I have to be sure I did my, it's getting hot. I don't like to walk in hot daylight
Mhm.
first thing in the morning, but that's what it is. So I had to do my walk. That was my most important accomplishment was going out in that sun and doing this.
Yes. So we didn't even do our blessing dance today.
Not yet.
Our daughter Nikki was here. So connecting with Nikki and working on that connection is part of what it is that we do
Yes.
because you want to work on your body, taking a walk. You want to work on your heart, connecting with your family. You want to work with your mind, connecting with career stuff. So we're talking career stuff right here. So if we do this, we're dealing with that. So gratitude, we already deal with that. That's the G. The intentions are very clear. My intention is to do a movie. We want to do The Keeper. I want to develop real expertise in the Filipino martial arts, and I want my family to thrive. I want to deepen my connection with Tananarian. I want to deepen my connection with Jason and help him to his adulthood, and I want to share with my students. So, what are your core intentions in life, T?
My core intentions.
How else do you
Um,
know what to do every day, other than okay, this is what I need to do to
oh,
take a
I
step on this
see.
path?
I see. So much of it is driven by my art, my work, my
Yes,
writing.
yes.
I would be lying if, I feel in some ways that the outline for the book I'm working on does help me channel a lot of my political anger. It's all about what happens when there's been abuse and violence and tragedy in history and it has been unaddressed. Where does it go? What happens to it when it's unpunished? And
What
this,
happens to a dream deferred or a nightmare that
right,
you can't wake up from?
because the reformatory has events that much like in real life, eventually the real place gets shut down. But in real life, no one was charged with anything about those boys being murdered and buried and abused. So, I mean, okay, the governor is going to sign for reparations. But so to answer your question, Steve, I'm driven by a very strong sense of justice that I try to channel through my work because I want to give not only myself but other people an outlet for those feelings, which, as a reviewer said about the reformatory, is also like maybe a kind of a call to action, even if I don't specifically include a call to action. But there are so many things that need to be done and can be done that I think people can just sort of look in their own circles and figure out what a call of action means to them. And to me,
If
my
you looked at
art
the
is a call to action.
reformatory, what you'd see is someone who took every legal channel possible and then decided to be more concerned with justice than the law.
Exactly.
I think that is a call to action in that sense. So that's that. Now, in terms of the C, the child elder balance, you are absolutely in alignment with the little girl that you were, and your alignment with the mother that she looked up to as a hero.
Yeah.
Which helps you to touch your own elder space because you watched your mom die.
I had a big birthday. I'm not going to go into details. And at the time of that big birthday, I got a doctor's appointment that was like really my worst one. Like my blood sugar levels were pre-diabetic and my cholesterol was too high, and it was dispiriting because I considered myself to be a pretty healthy eater, and I've been working out my entire adult life. So how dare these numbers change? But guess what, ladies? When you get over 50 and your estrogen levels dip, those glucose numbers and those cholesterol numbers go up. And that is just biology, right? Steve knows I've transformed my eating. There are a lot of people out there, God bless you, who have found medications to help them with weight loss. I just cut out sugar. And
And
I,
I'm
and
about to allow you to teach me what it is that you were doing. I will see how much of that I want to adapt to my own life. But I've regained the muscle mass that I lost
you really have.
at the. However, I'm about 13 pounds heavier than I want to be.
That
So
will
it is.
disappear if you go under my tutelage, darling. And
Yeah, I
listen, I'm just
will.
going to tell
And we also got
everybody.
a Hume pod and a Hume band, which enables me to check a lot of different stats of what's going on inside my body. So there are a couple different things. One is what are my goals? One is what are your goals? And then there's what is our goal? Where is it that we are seeing the path alike? Those are the places where we can walk most closely together.
Yes. And I'm slowly trying to bring him in. He's not quite sold on my sugar-free desserts yet. I think maybe I'm just getting desensitized to the flavor of monk fruit, which is the artificial sweetener that higher end products use. Not all artificial sweeteners are created equal or even that good for you, frankly. So do some research if you're even curious about eliminating sugar. And I mean, I'm hardcore. I used to love my energy water in the morning, which has like 23 grams of carbs. That's like a whole meal almost worth of carbs in that one drink. So what it is, and I'm going to break it down really quickly because I've become kind of an evangelist about this, that the pounds are melting off. I'm wearing clothes I haven't been able to wear since I was in my almost, I'm getting to the point of in my 30s almost. So to me, and I was doing it wrong. I would like not eat any carbs for breakfast. Not well, carbs I was noticing. I was still drinking that vitamin water. Not eating any carbs for lunch and very few calories and very few fat, and then eat like more carbs and whatever almost I wanted for dinner. And that was the completely wrong method. And I try to go to bed a little bit hungry. That was my way. I didn't lose weight before unless I went to bed a little bit hungry. So it was about shrinking the stomach, deprivation. My new model, I almost never feel hungry because it's not about eliminating carbs. It's about limiting them and using smart carbs. So I can eat half a cup of white rice with any meal I want to. Brown rice is better. It has different nutrients for you. But white rice works. Look it up. Diabetics will tell you the same thing. Half a cup. I can have half a cup of real pasta and then mix it with some no carb pasta that is actually to me indistinguishable. There and half the plate vegetables. Always eat your protein. Don't be afraid of a little fat. I am just basically constructing my meals like chemistry,
Okay, Tananarive,
and I'm doing great.
Tananarive, I need you to write this down. It's like the 10
Oh yeah.
commandments of what it is that you're doing, so we can put it into the Warrior Walk Manual.
Yeah, I know everyone has their secrets, and I'm sorry to be so like, ah, but I'm
But
just
your
so
secrets, what we
excited
want to
about
do
it.
is to be sure that your secrets, if your secrets are in alignment with the philosophy of that book, then it can be of a piece with it,
I
and
will.
it
I'm going
works
to write a
great.
whole chapter. And unfortunately, I do a lot of cooking now. You know, some of you may do better with restaurants where you can sort of estimate how much sugar is in this or how many carbs are in that. I just feel most comfortable when I know exactly what went into this food, which is a complete turnaround for me. My cousin was shocked when I said I was cooking for myself because when he was with me, it was DoorDash day and night. And DoorDash is going to send a representative to say, what the hell's wrong with you people? Because
They were putting
it's
their kids through college on us.
and I'm cooking, and cooking is meditative too. Cooking is meditative, but it is very time consuming. So it's not maybe for everybody. But anyway, I will definitely write this down as a part of the Warrior Walk program because I'm also using Steve's Warrior Walk program, which is that easy, 15 minutes a session workout.
Yeah,
Not
an hour a
easy.
week, basically. Be sure, go to www.warrior-walk.com. That's the
Yes.
program right there. And if you cannot afford it, if you want it and will use it and you cannot afford it, let me know and I'll give you a free copy. That is, there's no strings attached to that. We really want you to understand the base that we're moving from, which is to master our bodies, master our minds, master our heart, and heal our hearts, to move to embrace, to escape suffering, embrace joy, and be of service. This is what we're about, and you went in there deep, and I want to see what your program is, and I want to see how I can apply it to myself, so that I can, frankly, get ripped, because I've got a program that will enable me to do that within a relatively short period of time, investment of time per week. But that's great. That's how you're using those things. So fantastic, hon.
Yeah,
That's a great workshopping, and I want to start opening it now so that people can ask us questions about any of this stuff. Maybe it's about your writing career. Maybe it's about life in general, relationships, anything that you feel we could be useful with, or if you want to challenge anything that we've said. So I don't think that sounds right, Steve. That doesn't sound like it makes sense, Steve. Whatever it is, this is your time. So please let me know, how can we help you? Anything, there are no questions that are off the table. There's some I won't answer, but there are no questions that are off the table. So Um, let's see. Who's got their hand up? Volunteer or you will be
Anybody?
voluntold.
Oh, I see
All
a new
right.
name here.
Summer
Not to pick
Hightower.
on the new name, but Summer is a
Summer.
new name, right?
Yeah, I think I've seen her once before. You there, Summer?
I am. Oh wow. I didn't expect
Great.
to
Can you
be
turn your,
put
You're
your
on.
camera on?
famous.
No,
That's
Okay, that's
okay.
okay. It's
No
okay.
pressure. No
I
Yeah,
pressure.
wasn't
no
prepared to
pressure at all.
actually
It
be a
I
part
happens
totally
of
so.
get that.
anything. My apologies. I just, I came across the email as I was trying to clean it out at work and said, let me hop on while I'm
I'm
actually working from home today.
so glad you did.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
So, is there anything we can help you with, or any questions that you had?
About life or writing or any.
Um, I wasn't prepared to ask, but I guess I'll just say so I'm mid 40s, very into my career, but have always written. But very much grew up in that, writing is a luxury, not a job that you can count on for money. Um, so I think I've always kind of planned to do it after retirement. Um, I'm wondering if there are things you would encourage those of us who are kind of writing on the side to do to just stay sharp
Absolutely.
and stay current?
We got your back.
That's a
Tananari,
great
jump in.
question. Well, first in chat, if you're not a member already, please join our free social media site for writers, which is Life Writing on Circle. It's an extension of this, but it's nearly 500 people now, and it's www.liferite.com.
And it's
And
totally
that,
free.
like I said, it's free. So people are putting up questions, advice. People are asking people to read their stories. It is a genuine and real writing community, and that is the most important thing any writer needs is a community. Once you've handled having a community, it's the matter of finding a little bit of time here and there to write. I think journaling is a good way to segue into working more on other kinds of writing. Frankly, most of us should be journaling more anyway. We're living through historic, I should say, times. And I think it would be a shame if we look back on this period and realized we never committed our feelings to paper about what we're living through, whether it's personal, whether it's political, all the things. Journaling is a great way to just sort of like maybe take 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes before you go to bed, just to freestyle journal about whatever is in your mind. It doesn't, you don't have to break down all the headlines just because, sometimes I journal on and on and on and don't write a thing that's not happening inside my own house. Okay. So journaling is a great start. And then short stories. I don't know what kind of writing you want to do. Are you a fiction writer?
Sorry, I'm
Or is
muted
first?
again. Yes, I prefer fiction, and I've been doing some short stories. I'm maybe doing an anthology with some friends, so I
Oh,
have been doing that.
So
Yeah.
let me get into my little dance here then
yeah.
too. Let me share my screen and we'll talk about the specifics of this because there are specific things that we can offer to you there. Let's see. I think this is it. Okay. So the life writing process for writing is a 6-step process, and we want to write this down because if you can get started on this, then you will, that the instant you start, you commit to this, you're a writer. And if you commit to it long enough, you're going to be an author. It's as simple as that. Nobody has ever failed has followed this pattern. So the first thing is that you just simply commit to writing a sentence every day. Just one sentence. So before you go to sleep, you can be thinking about, well, what would the next sentence be? And in the morning, you write down that sentence. And it could take you 30 seconds to do it. And you are a writer that day. So there's no guilt. There's no feeling of, I'm not fulfilling my destiny. You actually are moving towards your goal. So the next step is to write 1 to 4 short stories a month. Now, if you keep the stories very short, it could be a 2-page story. I don't care. But the point is that the short story is the smallest complete unit of writing,
Mhm.
and therefore working on a short story is teaching you how to write a novel or a screenplay or anything else. You're learning all the basic skills. The third one is to finish and submit one story a month. This is what gets into the emotions of it. The ability to select a story, do the work, finish the work, and put it out there to be criticized. If you do that, a lot of people cannot do this, cannot send it out because the rejection terrifies them. But if you can say, I'm afraid of being rejected, then we can workshop that fear. The point is that the obstacle in the path becomes the path. You look at everything that stands between you and your goal, and you solve them one at a time to the degree that you can. The fourth step is once you finish the story and send it out, you don't rewrite it anymore unless an editor requests that you do it. The reason I say this, I've seen people waste decades rewriting their story. I mean, literally decades until they completely burned themselves out. They never got anything done because they kept trying to make it perfect. No, make it good enough. Get it out. Move on to the next one. What you're looking for is your process, not the individual products. It's the process. The fifth step is you read 10 times as much as you write. So in step 2, we said 1 to 4 short stories a month. Then this means you read 10 short stories a month if your goal is writing 1 short story a month. And they can be very, very short. Get a hold of a collection of flash fiction. I don't care. So, keep it in your bathroom, and read a one-page story every morning when you're doing your business. It doesn't matter. What matters is you have to input, you have to work, you have to output. If you do that, you are on that path. And if you keep reading the right stuff and you keep writing, and then if you will join a community where you start getting feedback to the quality of what you're doing, you will continue to get better. You just will. And the last step is a piece of advice. You repeat this process 100 times. Until you have written and submitted 100 short stories, you haven't even begun the game. So most people will write 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 short stories, and then they'll quit if they don't sell it. No, they're just getting started. They did not give themselves the room to develop. So I'm going to copy these and I'm going to post them in chat. And I'm going to let you, if you have any questions about any of that, this is a great time to ask them. So, have you any questions?
No, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
What are you putting in chat for the listeners?
I want to put in chat um, the 6 steps.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine. Well, we just went over it, so hopefully they were taking notes. But
Yeah,
great.
hopefully
I hope
we're
that's helpful. And there was a really great comment in there from Suzanne Paul saying that she's retired and it's amazing how the time flies anyway. So don't wait.
that's right. Um, what matters when you make the first step so small that there's no reason not to do it, you stop being able to blame life. And that's what you want. You want to take responsibility for your actions. That's all we can take responsibility for. We can't take responsibility for the world. But if you take responsibility for your own actions, your capacity to influence the world expands. If you try to change the world beyond your grasp, your circle of influence contracts because you're going to be completely frustrated. I can't control the world. I can't control Washington. I can't control this. I can't control that. You're not even taking care of the things you can control, which are to calm your heart, strengthen your body, focus your mind. Remember that the meaning of life is to decrease suffering, embrace joy, and be of service. If you want to be of service to the world, if you want to be able to help the people in the world, start by helping yourself to the point that you have an overflowing cup, then give to others from your overflow. That what Tananarive and I do every week is we fill ourselves and each other up until we've got overflow. And then we give you our overflow. We don't give you the stuff that we need. We need a certain amount of juice just to be able to get through our days. There's so much going on that if we lost our balance, it would be so easy to become terrified and frustrated. Just absolutely trust me. All of that fear is there. It's always been there. But I know to do something with it. The fear is there. It's like if I'm angry, I'll ask myself, what is the fear under the anger? The fear is the base survival emotion. Let me use that. I'll put that into my writing. I'll put that into my workout. I'll get a hug, whatever it is I need. I am afraid. I don't lie to myself about that. I am terrified that I will not be able to do what it is that I need to do. I'll not be able to fulfill my dreams, support my family, be the best man I can be. Every day that fear is there, and I use it to drive my joy. If you get that, if you get that, then all you have to do is commit. I will do these 5 things every morning, which will enable me to coach you when you're here. And then once you can do that regularly, you can find your own way through it. You really can. But if you'll give me 5 minutes in the morning, if you'll do those 5 things, we can really help you. We can really help you. All right, whose hand is next, or am I going to choose somebody? Crystal! Yeah, I see you, sweetheart.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I've got a job interview today at 2.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic. Are
yeah,
you ready for it?
I am.
Okay, what version of you is the version that could walk into that job and tell them why you are their best choice?
I already know that I'm a great choice. I just don't know if I'm a perfect fit, and that's okay. I've been the interviewer. I know that there's matchmaking involved, and I haven't met the locations that they're trying to match for. But I made the
But
first round of
you understand
interviews.
their business, right?
Yeah,
You know what their business is, and you know what the obligations of the job that you're trying out for are, right?
absolutely.
Okay, and you can walk in there and look at them in the eye, and you can tell them with total confidence, you are the answer to their problems.
Yes.
You are that bitch.
Yes, I am.
All right. Is there anything we can do for you? Because I believe in you. I've known you for, forever, and
Hmm.
you are a woman of heart and intelligence and energy. You can do this, Crystal. And we believe
Thank
in
you.
you. And you right at this moment you're believing in yourself. So
Hmm.
that's great. So show me if you were sitting in front of the interview right now,
Yes.
how would you hold your face? How would you hold your shoulders? How would you breathe? Show me.
I mean, pretty much the same as right now. I'm not going as anybody else. I'm going as
Great.
me.
Exactly. So that's exactly the thing. You are the person they're looking for. You don't need to
Hmm.
pretend. That's
Yep.
fantastic. And I want you to walk in there and have fun. How can you get this job? How can you be your absolute best and have fun in the process?
Hmm.
Do your very best. And if you would be so kind, come back and let us know how things went.
Will do.
All right. Thank you. And love you, honey. And it's always wonderful to see you.
You too.
All right. She is good people. Suzanne Paul. How you doing?
Hi, just had to get unmuted.
Yes. So, talk to us a little bit about what's going on in your life and what we can conceivably help you with today, or what you can help us with by giving us an example of how you had a victory or whatever is going on.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys have already helped me today because with Tananarive talking about how her outline process works, actually spoke to me because I've been trying to limit myself to just initially trying to tell the story in 3 pages, and I can't do it, and I've been beating myself up over it. So now I need to
See,
know that I need to just tell the story, get it out, and
oh,
then go back
oh,
and
yes. This is this is something that used to be a bone of contention with us back in the day because as collaborators, we would work on the outline together. And if it was my job to do the outline, he would be like 1 pager, 3 pager, and then you build it up. I found that I didn't know enough about the story to do the 1 pager. Like I ran out of information, so I would keep writing ahead and it would get longer and longer. And then I would have to write like maybe out to 20 pages and then shrink it back down to 1 or 3 pages once I knew more. And it's true. He's just learned. You heard how tranquil he was with it. He's just learned. That's my process. I don't know everything at the outset. I have to write it
It's more
through a
important
little
than
bit.
that, sweetheart. Let me be specific. I am very comfortable with my own skills. I don't look at them anymore. I know that they're there. I look at Tananarive's skills and I am in awe. I am in awe of my wife and who she is and how she functions. The reason, from my point of view, that she comes up with so few ideas is that the ideas she comes up with are tested against her values, her being. That when she has an idea, it's an idea that goes deep and high. Okay, the deeper the roots, the higher the building, the higher the tree. So whatever her process, she doesn't come up with a lot of ideas. She comes up with fantastic ideas. She doesn't know everything that's happening to be able to outline. She discovers in her writing. Not only is that a valid way to do it, but quite frankly, I covet it. I covet the level of integration that she has that enables her to do that. And so my attitude toward her, towards everything else is teach me, Sifu. Teach me how you do this. Okay? So when you hear me coming at it from one position, her coming at it from another position, I, in no way, shape, or form am I thinking that's not as good as this. On the other hand, I don't really think this is not as good as that. It's, isn't it interesting how we approach this differently? Okay?
And
And
Suzanne, oh,
yeah, go. No,
I just
that's
want
all
to
I
jump
wanted to
in.
say. You go
I
for it.
don't want to walk all over anybody, but one of the things that pantsers say, people who don't outline, who feel like they can't outline, don't want to outline, is that they want to have that feeling of discovery, right? And for me, the expanded outline is the best of both worlds because while I was working on this expanded outline and I was turning new corners and asking myself new questions, I felt like I was eating popcorn. It's like, oh no, she didn't. It's like I was getting that feeling of discovery, but in the outline form. So instead of having to
Mhm.
write 200 pages to get up to that moment, I could get up to that moment on page 7 or page 10, and it's like, oh, child psychics. Or no, it's like, and Steve's like, why is this so late? Well, in the next version, it won't be so late. But
That's
it
right.
took me those many pages to even realize what I was writing up to.
And
Mhm.
it's to understand we're asking you and the people here to engage in the most difficult aspect of thought. It's called metacognition. To look at the way you think, to think about the way you think, to think about the way you feel or move, to feel about the way you think, to feel about the way you feel. In other words, that we're asking you to understand that you are not just Suzanne Paul. You are a spirit who is cosplaying as Suzanne Paul. You are the puppeteer, not the puppet. Okay? And so when you watch Suzanne Paul navigating through the world, there should be a part of you that is amused at yourself. It's like, isn't that interesting? I do that. I did that when I was a kid. Like this. You're not. You get to make choices here. You're not
Mhm.
limited. When you feel that you say, I am frustrated by the fact that I didn't do this. How did you phrase that?
Oh, I don't even remember how I said it,
Okay,
but
because you were frustrated that you couldn't do something.
oh yeah, I was frustrated that I wasn't being able to initially just think of a story and have it in 3 pages.
Okay,
That
so
I
let's
need
take a
that I
step
need to
back.
do more. Mhm.
You weren't frustrated. You experienced frustration about
Mhm.
X. So why was it frustrating for little Suzanne? Let's go. So you're observing little Suzanne right now. Why was little Suzanne frustrated?
Because I felt like I wasn't
Because
doing it
she
right.
felt like
Yeah.
create the distance. She felt like. Go ahead.
She felt like she wasn't doing it right.
Okay, is
That I
that
was
true?
no.
Thank you. So little Suzanne beats herself up for nothing, doesn't she?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
so what you do is the instant you take a step back and observe what you're doing to yourself, you get to laugh, get the joke, and decide who you want to be at that moment. And who you wanted to be was somebody who would come here and play with us. We will, you don't even have to raise your hand. It takes me longer to realize that you've been quiet for a while. But if you raise your hand, we're here for you. We want
Well,
you to
I've been
finish.
MIA for a while. I had a death in the family in January,
Oh,
and then in February I was just recuperating from that. So I'm getting back into the swing of things now, and
Great.
life is going good.
Great. Fantastic. That's what we want for you. And I hope that you can tell that when we bring our life issues in here and we tell you what's going on with us, it's saying we consider you to be family. We talk to you about things that I don't necessarily feel safe to talk about all the time. And yes, we put this out to the public, but you help me be more honest about my process, my fear. What do I need to do to get this movie? I mean, it's my last remaining lifetime goal. I mean, I died. I don't want to die again permanently without having fulfilled this. What do I need to do? Who do I need to be? How can I do this? All that stuff is in me. But if I can coach you, when I say to you, you are not frustrated, you experienced frustration, I can say to myself, it's easier to remind myself, you are not afraid, Steve. You are experiencing fear. Oh, that's different. Nichelle Nichols, I had the pleasure of hanging out with her at a science fiction convention. We we danced together and had dinner together, and she talked to me. And one of the things she talked about was that when you greet the public, you need to remember that the public doesn't really want to know who you are. They want an image of who you are. So you have to build an image that you offer the world that is similar to who you are. You're not lying, but it's simplified. I remember that. So I've got a little Stevie simulacrum that I send out. When I'm at conventions, I'm the dancing Stevie simulacrum. If you get me at a coffee clutch, I get to relax a little bit and I can be more open. If I'm here with you guys, I can be more open still. If I'm with my family, my sister, my daughter, my wife, I can be more open still. When I'm by myself, when I first wake up in the morning or just before I go to bed at night, I try to be the most honest I can possibly be. So it's no urge to be dishonest to you. It's there is what is the most appropriate interaction. The same thing is true about what is the appropriate part of myself at this moment. The appropriate part of you when you're sitting there, right, is the part of you that is happy with whatever your little girl gives you. Your little girl, little Suzanne, is dancing as fast as she can. And when she does her work, she has her insecurity. And she looks up at mommy. And if mommy says, good girl, what else are you going to show me? Then little Suzanne feels good. If mommy says, oh, that's not good enough, that's the voice. Oh, that's not serious. Life is serious. You have to work. Well, damn it, I did work. I worked 8 hours, 9 hours today. I worked 40 hours a week. What belongs to me? What belongs to little Suzanne? If you're gone all day working, when you get home, little Suzanne needs to climb into your arms and play. And that's writing for her.
Yeah, I've got it right here on my desk.
There you go. Perfect. 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 I love that. Let's give up some love because that's perfect. Being able to access that child part of you. And if you experience pain in your life, then access a part of yourself that is younger than whatever the pain or abuse or disappointment was. And then you tell that part, mommy is home. Mommy will never let anyone hurt you again. Mommy appreciates your halting efforts. Whatever you can do is okay by mom. It's like you don't judge a hug because it wasn't done right. What you feel is the heart of this child who loves you. And that's all the child wants, is mommy here? Do you see me? You know, I recently had a breakthrough about that. I'm still finding stuff to integrate within myself. And there was a point where just I wanted a father so badly. And I turned myself into the man that would have been able to father that little boy. But there was one specific moment when a guy that my mom was dating was sitting on the couch and I was laying on the love seat behind the couch, wishing that he would turn around and pat my head, wishing that he would tell me I was a good boy. You know, I remember thinking, am I so hideous that no one wants to be my daddy? And I realized it was something I'd never done, that I could visualize myself on the love seat and see myself turn around and hold me. And that's something I'm going to be working on because it's a deeper connection. I can see myself as an adult holding this child. I can see myself as a child being held by this adult. All is well. All I need to do is be the best I can be at this moment. And my adult self will negotiate the best terms with the outside world. The outside world will do what it does, but my daddy loves me. That feeling, my daddy loves me, is just, it means everything to me. So I'm happy. You are doing exactly what you need to do. You took care of your family, take care of yourself. Now let's get some of that work done. I want to see your story. All right.
Actually, I had a story come out in February. I did. It
Fantastic.
was I so far with all of my submissions, I've had two stories published,
Out of how many
and
submissions?
I'm still working on getting out some more.
How many stories did you have to submit before you got two publications?
Uh, Actually, I got the two publications fairly early. I want to say maybe six or seven.
Fantastic. And how many stories had you written before you started submitting?
Oh, probably another five or six.
So you had to write between 5 and 15 stories before you sold two of them. You
Mm-hmm.
see how this works?
Mm-hmm.
That this is that look at that. Write a sentence a day, 1 to 4 short stories a month. Finish and submit at least one. Don't rewrite except to editorial request. Read 10 times as much as you write. Repeat this process 100 times. You can see how you're right on that continuum, can't you? You did it.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting the results.
Mm-hmm.
You will continue to get the results, and God bless you. I'm happy for you. That's great, Suzanne.
Thank you. Yes, it's going well.
Fantastic. Let's move on. Bum, 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 bum. Hope you guys can see how this works. It doesn't matter whether it's writing, it could be anything creative, it could be anything regarding your bodies, because we're looking at ourselves as the heroes of the stories that we're writing. Our lives are stories that we're writing. So we want you to take control of that process. So all the different tools of life writing are like the tools that your character might need while they're on the hero's journey. Okay, so it's I just had to create a very special set of skills in order to be able to leverage our hearts into creating change in the world. So for Crystal, it's how do you breathe? What's your facial expression? And know that you are lovable, and you are loved, and you are smart. That they would be lucky to have you. We'll just see if they're going to be smart enough to realize that. Simple as that. Here you are. Let's go on to Alexander James Adams, one of my favorite people
All
to
right.
pick on.
Favorite people to pick on. Well, it's been working. That's all I can say. I was actually able to one of the things that has been eluding me with like the whole magic process was that I couldn't find a mentor or a map for what I do because what I do is so diverse. And but I ended up visiting a friend, having a friend actually come and visit me, and we started talking, and I started asking her about stuff, and she started telling me, "Oh, well, marketing is, you could do it this way, and have you thought about this? Have you thought about?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I have found somebody who knows how to do this! Hooray!"
Okay,
So
so here's
I,
what you do. It, if you want to model her, model the people she modeled. Who
yeah,
did she learn marketing from? There are superb experts out there, and she must have learned it somewhere. Or if she figured it out all by herself, fantastic. But if she has the level of success that you want, or is heading in that direction, who did she model?
yeah,
Be a scientist. Be a
yeah,
explorer.
I think she may have just done this on her own, but I've got an appointment, quote unquote appointment. I'm going to go down and visit for a day to swap stuff and do pipe dreaming and look at some stuff that she's got available for me and everything. So
Yeah, one. Oh, I'm watching my grandpuppy while my daughter has her birthday party. Um,
hopefully they won't.
so
Hopefully yours won't
so
start talking to mine
so
back here.
what I would suggest to you is that you make her a study partner.
Okay.
That the two of you will then become detectives. searching out the different approaches to marketing and seeing how they relate to what she's found. Whether it's, there are women who are fantastic marketers, there are men who are fantastic marketers, there are people out there with master level understanding of these things. And if you've got somebody, it's like, okay, we're going to touch base every week or every day or whatever it is, but at least every week. She is your first mastermind partner, let's say. And you tell her what your goals are, she tells you what her goals are, and you reinforce each other and keep each other on track, and you share your discoveries together, okay?
Sounds good to me.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think that finding someone you can talk to about this stuff is critical. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that, and I've put myself on a little project where, going back to looking at my little inner Alec that got left behind and is, wanting to play but doesn't, want something back from all the work that I do. Um, I've put myself on a new creation where I'm actually writing about the thing that I'm looking for. And I have found that when I did that, I'm actually finding it. So,
Okay, let me give you an exercise. If you will do this exercise, it'll be easier for me to coach you. First of
uh-huh.
all, today, how many points did you get?
I got four because I don't
Great.
I don't write the things down. I do all the stuff, but I don't actually write down what I'm going to
Okay,
do that.
that's
So I
that's
just
fine.
kind of walk into it.
As long as you don't have a zero, you're in the game. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write your life story in just a couple pages. Basically, it's imagine it's your eulogy, and somebody is talking about your life, or you're dead, and you get to
OMG.
talk to the people who came. From today until the day you die, how do you want the rest of your life to go?
Oh my goodness.
And
Okay.
when you've got that, I want to see it. And we will take a look and try to write it in such a way that I will not see that there are no major omissions in terms of your physical, your
Uh-huh.
emotional, and your mind. What you forget to write about, you're looking directly at the part of you that you have disowned and sabotaged.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
No more than
is
about
is
3 pages or less.
3 pages, is it from the beginning to where I want to go, or is it just from here, from where
Well,
I am
the
right
full
now?
exercise, which used to be a part of the life writing thing, is the first, it's your child story.
Uh-huh.
It's the story of your life up until this moment is your
Okay.
child story. Then it's your adult story. It is, the story of your life from today until the day you die. And then it's your warrior's commitment. Who are you willing to be to protect the space of your life such that you can have your dreams? There is a version of you that can have everything that you desire. You have to be able to clearly define what that is and then ask yourself, am I willing to pay the price to be that version of me? Because you could say no. But if you say yes, then you're playing a different game. It's not a matter of whether you have the resources or anything else. It's a matter of, do you keep your word to yourself? Are you honest with yourself? Those things you can control. You can't control the rest of the world, but you can control whether you're honest with yourself and whether you keep your word to yourself. And that's so I want you to focus on the things that you can control. Create a vision for the life that you want. And it better the hell include financial abundance. It
I
better, or I will
I
kick your butt.
I was just approached by I probably shouldn't go into too much of it, but I got approached by a gaming company, a very big gaming company, that said, "Would you like to come and just do a speaker presentation for us?" And I said, "Yeah, that sounds fun." And they said, "Well, what's your budget?" And I gave them a three-digit number because based off of my music. And they looked at me and said, "I was actually thinking of giving you a four-digit number." And
Yes.
I'm like, "I'll do it."
Yes. So no, what you do is you say, what's your budget?
Well, I usually do, but they asked me first.
Yes.
So
No,
that was,
you say
so,
no. You're playing poker with them. You
yeah.
ask them, what's your budget? They ask you, what's your thing? They say, what's your budget? I like to work things like that.
Well, I was lucky in that the person I was talking to is very ethical and obviously supportive
Do
of
not trust people's
me.
ethics.
Yeah.
Rely upon them to do what they consider to be in their best interest. You
Well,
lucked
that's
out.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
lucked out that he didn't say, "Oh, great."
Yeah.
You see, so your adult has to speak to them. It's your child that didn't want to give them a big number.
Right. Well,
That's
I
your
didn't even
child.
know. I had no idea that speaker engagements actually run in that market.
You know,
And
people get
once I realized that,
people.
I thought I'm not looking. There's another avenue of income that I'm
That's
not even.
right. That's right. And you
So,
need to do some research. This is something you need to know about. How much money do people get for speaking? And you will find that it varies between zero and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
yeah.
So getting a sense of where you are in that process, and you could ask some friends who have businesses. When you go to this person, you could say, since they were think of giving you four figures, you could say to them, how much should I have asked for? We're already done here. We are doing this, but frankly, I'm interested in moving into a different phase of my life, and I could use that piece of advice. And they
Yeah.
might be happy to say, something, you could have asked for this. This is how we make our decision. This is this, this is this. You need to understand the role of money and how to ask for it and how
Yeah.
to demand it. Because getting
Well,
money is about developing a skill or a service that will help other people,
yeah.
finding the people who can afford it, and then demanding to be paid what you're worth. So
Right.
I ask you right now, where have you failed in the past?
Uh, well, essentially, like you say, I've trusted somebody else to do somebody else to treat me with the value that.
So
Yeah, I hesitate.
you didn't have the self-respect to stand up for yourself and demand it. Now you could have an agent or manager who gets 10% or
Yeah,
5% or 15%, in which
15.
case it is in their interest to get the most money for you. But then you'd have to worry about whether or not they're cheating you. So there are you are you are playing a new game right here. And you need to play it with the highest level of integrity for your adult self, or your child self is not safe to play. When you
Yeah,
put your child out there, your child would work for hugs. If
that's
I said, I'll send you a ticket if you'll come down here and sing at my birthday party, and we'll put
yeah,
you up and I'll give you a hug, and I'd be so appreciative. I could talk you into it because and that would not be inappropriate because we have a history.
right.
But if you also said, Steve, my time is this. I'd love to do that, but I need to make up for this time in my schedule. Can you pay such and such? And then I would say yes or no. But that's the adult negotiation. You love what you're doing. You love standing on that stage and having the attention of all of these people who are looking at you and are cheering and laughing and clapping and dancing or whatever. You love that moment. And if you were a billionaire, you would pay people to fill an auditorium so that you could play for them. It is
I don't know
that,
about that's slimy. I wouldn't do that.
you know, you have to understand that the real artists need to be real hard asses. They need to, or they're not safe
Yeah,
because they will give away everything that they are to the wrong people.
yeah.
Okay? All right. Remember, do not trust people. Rely upon them to do what they consider to be in their best interest. Your job is to figure out what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? All right. You take care.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. All right. We're running. We got 12 more minutes. Let's see. Jade. Is Jade there? Hello, Jade. No. Okay. Is Jennifer Cannon there?
I'm here.
Great. Can you put on your camera?
Sure, hold on.
That enables me to put you front and center.
Oh, wait a minute.
I see Jennifer Cannon. You're going to be next.
Oh no, I'm trying to turn my camera. I'm having problems.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Is there anything I can do for you today?
Today has already been helpful. Um, I'm still trying to. Tenanity was really helpful. I'm in the same boat as she is with the hormone changes, so that eating plan would be very helpful to me. Um,
Yeah, we're going to put that eating plan in the Warrior Walk book. Go to warrior-walk.com.
mhm.
If you love it, if you love what you see there but cannot afford it, let us know and we'll get you a free copy. Okay?
Okay.
That's not
Um,
a it's not a trick or a gimmick. We really want you guys to share what it is, our fire, what it is that we found.
right. I appreciate that too. Is my camera still not? Sorry about that. I do not know.
But don't worry about it. So is there anything else? Otherwise, I'll go back to Jennifer.
Oh, there are two Jennifers? Okay, I'm just okay. Just I guess my only thing is I haven't been consistent with the magic, but this today's call, I think I needed to hear that and I need to actually do it this time to stick with it. I get
What you want to do is
distracted.
focus on that first 5 minutes of the day.
Right.
The first
And I
5 minutes, breathe and feel grateful for life. Feel your
mhm,
heartbeat and be grateful for love. See the
mhm.
light behind your eyes and see what are you going to do today to make magic real in your life. Just a little bit, just one step. Just all you have to do is take one step, and tomorrow it'll be easier to take just one more step or maybe two steps. But be gentle with yourself. You're doing the best you can with the resources you have. You always have. Okay?
Yeah, I appreciate it's like I know that internally, but sometimes you need to hear it said. So I
That's
appreciate
right.
that.
Well,
I
we're here
appreciate you
for you.
saying that. Yeah.
All right, Jennifer Cannon, put you on spotlight.
Oh,
Hello, Jennifer.
oh, that was me. That was me just now.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, that was. Are there two Jennifers on the call?
I don't know.
Oh,
That was you that was just talking?
that was me that was just talking. Yeah, that
Okay,
wasn't
well, I
you.
didn't notice. I didn't see that. It's
Oh,
my
because I was
my
like,
bad eyesight.
okay, no problem, no
Okay,
problem.
great. Fantastic. And who else is there? Who else is there? Let's do Jaime, because
Hey,
Jaime
everybody.
is
Hi,
serving a
Steve.
community that I am not capable of serving to the level he can. So are you serving your people?
I am, and I got a couple of things I want to share with everybody. First, thank you last session or two sessions ago for the link to Purdue Owl because I got full marks on my first two assignment essays for the class I'm in. And the life writing process has made my final essay so easy and stress free to write. The fact that this life writing process works not just for fiction stories, but for nonfiction is terrific.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, if you really look at it, there is an atomic goal for anything that you want.
I,
And
I
if you can if you can find it, if you can do this in one arena of your life, you can do it in any arena.
there are two highlights of what I've been going through the last 2 weeks I really want to share. One
Please.
is that this new role I'm filling as a pastor is bringing together all of the other areas of my life in a way where
Yes.
I can see how my um, belly brain, heart brain, and head brain are synthesizing together and all moving in the same direction in a new way and bringing all of my life and all of my skills and ability and focusing them into a direction that's really exciting, terrifying, but exciting. Um,
Once you learn to enjoy the terror, it's all good.
right. Now, the other thing, and I really related to, I think it was Suzanne Paul with her struggles over the outlining. I have talked here before about two different short stories that I was writing. Last time we talked, I got the direction to just do one of them at a time. And what I discovered is that even one sentence a day, and then if I hit a wall or hit a block, that it's part of my process to then switch stories and write one sentence in the next story. And if I
I got
hit
no
the
problem
block,
with that.
right. Well, so here's the interesting thing. I was beating myself up in a very similar way that I wasn't making fast enough progress on either of these stories. But by trusting the process and moving on to the essay assignment or moving on to some other project that I have and try and catching myself, beating myself up and saying, no, don't do that, do the next thing. What ended up happening this week 2 different nights, I had a dream in the middle of the night that answered all of the problems and questions for one of the stories. And then the second night, I had another dream that answered all of the problems and questions for the other story. And
You know,
so,
see, if you will get into a habit of writing down your
That's
dreams,
great.
you become aware that there is an infinite flow of creativity happening in
right.
your heart. And the only thing that stops us is fear of our fear.
But it was that business of when I was trying to write the story, I was getting lost in the weeds, imagining all of the hundreds and thousands of possibilities. The same issue with an outline. And by not pushing it and just breathing and doing the next thing and breathing and doing the next thing, the answers came in those dreams without the stress and effort or self flagellation. And
Have
what a
you
relief.
your parishioners are lucky people
Thank you.
because you are working on that integration of body, heart, and mind in a way that when you counsel them, you will immediately see where their blockage is.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to help them rapidly. The more you connect with those three things, the easier it is to have compassion for why we struggle in life because you'll
Yeah.
just see it's it's so easy to get out of alignment, and then when we do it, we stop ourselves from getting realigned with guilt. It's like
And
the
that
ego uses guilt to stop us.
and those first 5 minutes, or for me, it's the first half hour to hour of the day. Because
Great, yeah.
that's what it takes me to do my meditation and my physical stuff.
That's it's all good if you as long as you do at least
Yeah.
5 minutes, you're
Yeah.
on that path, and what you will find is it will naturally expand in time.
Yeah.
For me, it's five, it's 7, 8, 10 minutes in bed, and then I get up and I do sun salutation and I work my abs, and then I open my journal. I come
Right.
downstairs and I brew some tea and I do these other things. And there's a part of me that says I'm not doing it all in exact order. I'm thinking to myself, just how rigid are you, asshole? I mean, it's just
right.
like, come on. It's
Right.
like I'm doing everything. What do you expect from me?
Yeah.
It's it's understanding that life is too important to take seriously.
This time on Friday mornings together is has been so valuable and so helpful.
Fantastic.
I'm so grateful to you and to Nana Reeve and this whole community because even the chats and conversations between meetings with each other
That's
are
right. And on and
so
on
good.
on life right. What I want you to do is to be a shepherd, to be a lifeguard for your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
As I've said many times, I can love your community dearly, but I'm not one of them. I don't know the special needs. You do. You can save lives this week.
And have fun doing it.
Yes, that's right. It's that, on one level you care completely, on another level, who gives a shit? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like just, I'm going to do what I can do, and then I'm not going to connect myself to the results because otherwise the drowning swimmers will drag you down and you won't be able to help the next swimmers. So I want to say this to you. In the next week, you're going to talk to somebody who's considering ending their life.
Ah, okay.
Someone you talk to in the next week is
Yeah.
thinking about it. I want you to be the person who shows them that there's something worth living for, that there is love, there is hope, there is service.
Can
Okay?
do.
All
Can
right.
do.
Excellent. Yeah, you got a little bit more serious right there. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Let's get real here. There's a world out there waiting for us. Okay, great. Tananarive, I'd like to bring you back in for your closing statements.
Hello, everybody. Don't mind me eating lunch. Rosebud. That was a fantastic meeting. Everybody, go out and make yourselves the hero or heroine in your own story.
Be the hero in the adventure of your lifetime. Now, everybody, please unmute yourselves and say goodbye to the family.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye everyone. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Namaste.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. See you next Friday.
All
Bye bye.
right. Bye bye.